What's up everyone, Marcus here again. Welcome back to Twisted Barbell. Before we get started with this week's training vlog, I just want to go over last week's test week. And here you can see my progress after 8 weeks on the program. So far, bench press 3 rep max is 240 pounds. And that puts my 1 rep max at 273, which is an increase of 28 pounds from my test prior to starting the program. Squat is a 3 rep max of 285, which puts my 1 rep max at 314 pounds. And that's a 19 pound increase over 8 weeks. Deadlift is the most significant increase. That 3 rep max is at 285 for a 1 rep max again at 314 pounds for a total increase of 64 pounds since the start of this training. So I'd be curious to hear what you think. Please leave it in the comments. Do you think I'm going to hit my targets on test day? 315 pounds for squat, 315 pounds for deadlift, and 275 for bench press. Getting more confident with my strength, so I'm really excited about where I'm going with this in terms of progress and overall strength. For now, let's just get into the rest of the training week. I have this last training block, which is 4 weeks, 3 weeks of peak, and then another week of test, which is actually on the last day. So again, this is week 10. This is the peak block. This is the first week of the peak block, and there are 3 weeks in this block before testing, which will be on the last day. We start out with competition squats. Here I'm still feeling good. The RPE is down a little bit, so I'm taking that into consideration with regard to last week's test week, which was a lot of exertion in 1 week, and I think it had an effect on my bench, which you'll see next. I felt a little weak with the bench, but I got through everything that the program stated I should be hitting, hit all my targets for the number of sets and reps that I was supposed to, so not really an issue. It just felt weak for me. You know, we're working with 215 here for the working set, 4x4. That goes through fine. Incline bench, I'm happy to say this is feeling pretty good to me, even though I've suffered from some of the issues with the right shoulder in the past. It's starting to feel a little more stable. I'm feeling more confident. The shoulder's feeling stronger. My incline bench is getting stronger, so I'm happy with that. The machine rows here, the cable rows, I'm feeling phenomenal with. My weight is increasing. This is 160 pounds. It's not an issue for me at all. I feel like I can definitely go up, and I'm happy with where that's going. I hope that translates into strength gains elsewhere. Hanging leg raises are, you know, status quo, nothing really changing there. But again, this being the peak week, the intensity is going to start increasing gradually. And next week, I see that the RP targets are going to be 9, pretty much across the board. Where this week is 8 to 9, next week is 9, and then I think the following week it goes down back to 8 to 9 before we hit the test week. Lateral raises, I'm still keeping this at 12.5 pounds because the RPE that's stated is only 7. So that's what I'm sticking to. I'm really trying to hit the program according to the way it's defined and laid out for me. And I don't want to make too many adjustments and change too many variables because I feel like that could cause a problem. But day 2 here, we start with pause deadlifts. My deadlifts overall are feeling really strong. I'm glad that we went down to 185 here for the working set because last week I did, 285 for 3 during my test, and I could definitely use a little break, even though I have to say, thankfully, I wasn't feeling any strain, pain, or fatigue in my lower back after doing my deadlift test. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm really feeling strong in the posterior chain. These are going fine. I feel like my mechanics are good. I feel like the motion is good. I feel like I could actually hold on to the bar after the break for a few more seconds if I needed to, but everything is progressing great. So I'm happy with that. Bench press on day 2 felt better than day 1. So no complaints there. Working set of 3x7 at 195, and you can see my sweetheart over here. She's like a dancing machine, always coming down and just grooving to the music, and she really helps keep me motivated. But moving on, I go to barbell hip thrusts, and this is up to 215. I definitely felt the fatigue after the 3rd set, so I'm feeling like I'm starting to hit that peak weight. I could probably go up to 225, but at a 9 RP, that was definitely pretty much on point for my last set. Moving on to tricep push downs. This is a 9 RP, so I'm back to 60 pounds with the stiff bar. And this is going well, no complaints, nice and smooth. I'm feeling the burn in the triceps. And now we're going to seated incline dumbbell curls. And this is still feeling good. I'm back to 30 pounds. And I feel like I could probably raise that a bit more. This is more of an 8 RP than 9. I actually did a 4th set even though the program didn't call for it, but just because I want to get a little more bicep work, and then we move on to face pulls. So as I said, I'm sticking to the program as much as I possibly can so I can really have my faith in what the program has produced for me so far. I've been seeing results. I'm very happy with those results, so I don't want to change up too much. But then we go on to day 3. All right, so day 3 begins with competition squats, and these are going well for me. Feeling really good with this and my mechanics. And there are 2 areas that I focus on, and I'll describe that while showing this 3x4 at 255 pounds. And those 2 areas are 1, breaking at the hips, just to make sure I'm staying true to form, and 2, trying to avoid ass to grass, because I feel like that reduces time under tension, and I also don't want to depend on that reflexive bounce from the bottom of the motion. So next we move on to lat pull downs, and these are going well. I bumped the weight up 15 pounds from 120 to 135, so I'm really feeling strong here. This was not very challenging, so I could probably bump the weight up a little bit more, but I'm gonna avoid getting overzealous. Next we move on to single arm dumbbell shoulder presses. This went up 5 pounds from 35 to now 40, and this is still feeling really good. It's challenging, but not impossible, and it's really hitting the target RP, so I'm feeling good about this. Overall, I'm feeling a definite increase in strength in my arms, and here we're doing skull crushers. I bumped the weight from 45-50 to 55 pounds, and at an 8 to 9 RP, this was really more of an 8 RP, so I could probably go to 60 next week, and I'll probably try that. Easy bar crawls are another area I'm definitely feeling strong. I moved from the 45 pounds, 45-50, up to 60 here. So 20-pound bar and 40 pounds of weight. And this was more like a 7.5 to 8 RP. You can see on this last set, I banged out 15 repetitions, which is nice because I knew I was feeling stronger there. And I'm slowly creeping up on that weight zone at 75 pounds for curls that I used to do when I was at the commercial gym, so that feels good. Next we're doing face pulls to finish off this workout, and I bumped the weight up here again 5 pounds to 65, just to make this a little more challenging because it was definitely too easy at the 60 pounds. So now this is definitely targeting the RP a little bit more appropriately. So here we start with day 4. We have deadlifts, 3 count pause bench press, and some accessory work. The warm-up was 275, 1 by 1. And I knocked that out with no issue. And then the working set was 3x3. This was supposed to be at 245 when you calculate 78%, but I wanted to add an additional 10 pounds to help strengthen my deadlifts, and that went through no problem doing 3x3. I'm looking forward to really getting that 1 rep max at 315. I'm pretty sure I can knock that out, but I'm just trying to do what I can to ensure that, that gets done with ease. So next we move on to 3 count pause bench press. This was 6 sets of 2 repetitions each at 205, and this too went smoothly. My bench was feeling a little weak this week for some reason, but I got through everything that I was supposed to do, hitting all the targets, so I really can't complain. And then we move on to Bulgarian split spots. I'm feeling a lot stronger here. Definitely not feeling the fatigue and burn like I used to in the beginning of the program, even with the same 35-pound kettlebell. I think next week I will start to actually use dumbbells on each hand, and maybe see if I can go with 25 per hand so I can make that exercise a little more challenging. The leg extensions, I did increase from 40 to 50 pounds, and this was definitely a little more tough, but this was the challenge I needed to really step up and hopefully see some strength improvements in the legs overall that can translate to squats and everything else. So this is going well. It's a little cumbersome still using the cable pulley system. I'm not gonna lie there, but it's really the only option I have at this point. Finally, we move on to dumbbell shrugs, and this was, still status quo at 52.5 pounds. I have to figure out something. I might incorporate some bands around the dumbbells just to increase the resistance a bit, because I'm, consistently doing these at 3x12s with the same 52.5 pounds. So, but all in all, I'm feeling a lot stronger. I'm feeling a lot more confident. I'm really happy with my progress in this program overall. So I'm really looking forward to, 2 more weeks of peak 2 and 3, and then we move on to the test. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually goes. So stay tuned. So my targets are 315 for squat and deadlift, and bench press 275 for 1 rep max. Tell me what you think in the comments. Will I hit my target on test day? Thanks again for watching. Take care.